Alright, first I'm gonna exclude the fact that I'm an Eminem fan. Alright, that's out the window. Number one, you said kids like or know of a Nicki Minaj, Drake, or fucking Wayne song. Alright, kids know SpongeBob SquarePants, fucking Sesame Street, and probably a Waka Flocka song. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? What a little kid thinks. Kids, they like anything. You know, anything that sounds good, anything that catches their eye. You know, I seen the Nicki Minaj music video. They look like kid shit. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if a little 5-year-old or 8-year-old kid likes looking at it. It's mad colorful and has bright lights and shit. So that is irrelevant. Like, we're talking about, obviously a kid like that wouldn't know anything about hip-hop anyways, or what it stands for, what it means, and what it's really supposed to be about. And if you see any of the videos these guys put out commercially, Drake, Wayne, Nicki Minaj, we all know that's not hip-hop. That's pop. Alright. Clubs don't play Eminem music. Number one, his last album, Recovery. Probably his greatest album. You know, I say that. If you listen to his album, it's mad positive. I'm not afraid. You know, imagine if a club plays that. Of course a club wouldn't play that shit. Because it's too positive. It's too in the fucking... It's like more, like a human song and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like, Love the Way You Lie. Like, these are all songs that have deep ass emotion. You ever go to the club and hear motherfuckers play Bob Marley, One Love? Or like, freaking Tupac, Keep Your Head Up or whatnot? You don't hear that in the club. Like, that's mad stupid for you to say that. Like, and I ain't even the type of artist as recently to make even those stupid kind of songs. You know, before he used to come out with a dumb single off of every album that'd be kind of partyish and, you know, in a dumb comedic way, but he's not doing that anymore. So obviously he's not gonna have that on his album for people to play in the freaking club. Like, you can't play a positive song on the club. As the radio, he had the #1 hit in 2009, or like the span that they're talking about. He had it. His Not Afraid jumped immediately. It was #1. The time it came out, he had Love the Way You Lie on the radio. He had, granted, it's 2011. It's been, I think his album came out last year. You know, since his album came out. If it's on the radio, if it's not on the radio, if you really judge hip-hop on what's on the radio, then you have a problem. You really do. Because there's a lot of shit on the radio. A lot of bullshit on the radio. So you call anybody on the radio the king of hip-hop? Alright. You say he raps about violence. Obviously, you haven't heard his last album. The thing, I'm going to do a little brief summary real quick. He represents a fucking regular person. When he was young, when he first came out, he was talking that crazy shit. You know, like, I don't care about anything and I'll say whatever I want. And my mother this and my wife that. Alright, he was young. It was stupid, obviously. You know, I grew up listening to him. He's a lot older than me. But, you know, now that I hit, like, you know, my age, I understood where he was coming from. I think it's dumb, yeah. Now, I notice it now. But I'm sure he didn't notice it while he was doing it, because, you know, once you're in that age, you don't really think twice about what you're doing. You're going crazy. Plus, he was on drugs, to be honest. He grew out of that, though, which why his last album was called Recovery. Like, you got to hear it. He doesn't rap it, but he hasn't said one thing about his mom, one thing about his daughter, his daughter's mother. And if you're going to judge a person on one thing they used to do in the past that they don't do now, then we can say that for every fucking body. That's like me saying a black person is a slave, period. I don't give a fuck if it was 400 years ago or not, y'all all slaves. That'd be stupid. That's like me saying all Hispanic people, I'm Hispanic, fucking immigrants. Even though we were born here, I was freaking born here. You know what I'm saying? That'd be stupid too. Like, person can't do one thing and then you just judge them for the rest of their life on it. Like, people change. It happens. Sure. You changed too. You're not the same fucking 10 years ago than what you are now. Hasn't done anything recent. I agree with you on that. Eminem is lazy as hell when it comes to music. To me, I think that's due to the fact that he needs something to rap about. When he has nothing to rap about, Eminem fans, you get an encore album. You get a freaking recovery. You get a relapse album. You know? When he has nothing to rap about, he really doesn't... There you go. He doesn't have nothing to talk about, and it just comes out like whatever. You know, it comes out whack. To be honest, when he has something to talk about, recovery, that's when he hits. And I don't think he's that creative, to like make up shit. He's really, really personal. So if it's not something that's directly connected to him, it doesn't work for him, I guess. And how exciting could one person's life be? That's why he doesn't put out an album every freaking month or whatnot. And I don't think he could ever do that. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing either. But I agree with you on that. But once again, Recovery is the biggest selling iTunes album of all time. He is the highest selling hip hop artist of all time. What else? Recovery got 10 Grammy nominations. Lil Wayne never got that. Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake, the whole Young Money, put them all together, they never got that. All together. All their Recovery that album sold more than the entire Young Money, Nicki Minaj, Drake, all those albums combined. Had more hits than all of them combined. Let's be honest. Alright. Accomplishments. What has he accomplished? I just said that. And if you want that, in the 2009 and 2011 span they talking about. Yeah, it's real random, but imagine if you want to say he's the king of hip hop of all time. You know how much big of an argument that would be? That means you have to include Pop. That means you got to include Biggie, freaking Ice Cube, all these people that people think like Jay-Z, Nas, everybody. And let me throw this in here. The reason why I think it's correct. The reason why I think M is the king of hip hop right now, because he's the most relatable. Like, let's be honest, Jay-Z, great artist. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. When I was in high school, he was my shit. I still think he's legendary status, even though I think he's gotten worse. But dog, not everybody has money to blow and freaking champagne popping, and that's all Jay talks about. He doesn't have like no soul anymore. How can somebody relate to that? Like when you hear M's not afraid or some shit like that, you go relate to it. It's like human emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's why people are quicker to give the crown to M now and shit, because all hip hop's only been around for 30 years. All the people who grew up on hip hop are now grown up, and all that spending money or whatnot, it's just going out the window for us. Like, how long, when you hear younger, and you hear it, it's cool. But once you get into your freaking 20s and you go to work and you fucking, paying rent or paying your car or some shit, you start seeing it like, damn, it's just stupid to even hear it. Like, I want to hear about money, a song about freaking money, throwing it in the air and throwing it at bitches. Like, nigga, the fuck, nigga, I'm working and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think people are quicker to give it to M. Now, let's say if they would say the greatest rapper of all time. Somebody would have told me that M is their greatest rapper of all time. It's cool. Shit. I think he could be. He's not mine, but if somebody would have said that, I will understand. He has, and he has like classics. And you want to talk about accomplishments. Once again, like, how the hell do you even... Alright. How do you compare Nicki Minaj and Drake, and when this bothers me too, and say Wayne in the same sentence as M, when M did so much more than they had? So much more. Do people forget that Wayne's last album, what the hell was it? I Am Not Human, didn't even go gold. His last one before that, Rebirth, only went gold. He had one album that went platinum in 1 week. Why the hell, like, why you holding them up to such high? So did 50 Cent. Why don't people put him in the same place as Wayne? Of course, Wayne's all over the radio, but dog, that shit dies out. Most people, I don't know, they don't listen to radio. They got motherfucking XM radio. They got, people play the iPod in the car more. Like, radios, if you really like hip hop, you don't really bump the radio. The radio sucks. I'll tell you that right now. Like, go to any website, put up this discussion. Ask people, man. Like, what are you talking? Don't ask a fucking little ass kid what they think. How about you ask somebody your age and have a reasonable conversation? You know what I'm saying? You sound like mad ignorant for all your statements. Like,